Can you see me?
Yes, Ken.
All right. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much for taking the time to do this interview.
You're welcome. Thank you for calling.
Oh, absolutely. It's great to be able to talk to you again. I got to talk to you for the last album, and now it's great to be able to talk to you talking about this amazing release that's going to be coming out next week, being able to explore all 40 years of Sodom so far.
Yes, I think I think it's 40 years. The time was running so fast. And when we, I remember I talked to the record company when we have the 40 years anniversary, what we're gonna do. And in the beginning, we originally want to record a live album with Sodom. But during the Corona crisis, we never found a proper show recording a good show for a live album. And the second idea was doing a sample like the 10 Black Years, which we did in '94. Just putting existing material, putting together to a sample, but that is not what the fans want, And then I came up with the idea putting some, choosing one song from each album, recorded with the current lineup, which was really funny.
Yeah, it's funny how this all turned out, but I can definitely say with the final product here and being able to have checked this out over the last couple weeks that I really love what's going on here with this and just being able to show off a song from every album. And it's just it's so cool to hear it with this lineup, with these guitar tones, with everything that's going on, and just being able to revisit some favorite songs off of albums that I've loved so much, and just being able to hear that. And it almost feels like hearing all of these songs live in 2022, obviously studio versions, but just being able to hear Sodom being able to play these classic songs in 2022 is just so cool to me.
Yeah. When we choose the songs, we don't want to do the hit singles on each album, like Agent Orange from Agent Orange, We were looking for some couple of songs who are maybe underrated, we never played live, we never played in a rehearsal room, That was really funny because we have to listen to all the songs, to all the albums, especially Obsessed by Cruelty, In the Sound of Evil, It's really hard to cover all songs because I think we remember Witch Hunter, sometimes he was out of timing, the guitar were out of tuning, when we covered the song, we tried to keep the spirit, the magic of the song, but doing more accurate, with new drummer, Well, that was really, we recorded for 2 years, I think, and yes, I think that's typical Sodom. Yeah, we don't have this overproduced. We just recorded in a rehearsal room, more old school sound. We just use Marshall amps for recording the guitars. Which is not usual nowadays. Guitars use Kemper and all the digital stuff. To get more the old school spirit in the songs. And we don't change anything. We don't change the arrangement or the lyrics. We want to play the exactly song like we recorded years in the original albums.
Yeah, and I do appreciate that so much, and that's one thing that always struck a chord with me the more that I listened to this release is the authenticity behind it, because everything does sound so natural behind it, and I love hearing that because it's just like you get to hear that original sound behind it, but it's updated enough with like the new lineup, new equipment, everything that goes along with that, but it still has that same feel behind it, which is so hard to capture, but you guys really nailed it with that.
Yeah. I talked to a couple of fans, who told me that when they want to listen to a Sodom song, they like more the original one. I understand when I want to listen to more, let's Ace of Spades, I want to listen to the original one. But this just just to show the people what we did around the 40 years, and that we want to tell the people that we are standing 100% behind our older material. We also recorded some songs from the demos, from Witch Mel and Victim of Death, which came out in '83, and it's also helps us for the next upcoming sets, because we rehearse the songs, we are able to perform a couple of the songs in the next live shows, in the next set list, and that is very important to me, because we don't want to play the set list all over the years. We want to change from show to show, And there was a couple of fans who told me, why do you never play Body Parts? You never played this one. You never played this one. And that we did a research with the older material that helps us for the next set list and for the next shows.
So with that in mind, I mean, obviously with being able to pick like one song off of each album, I mean, how hard was it to decide like what song you were going to be able to pick off of each album? I mean, obviously with not going with the easy targets that you could, like you mentioned, like you could have put Agent Orange on here, but I appreciate the fact that you didn't. So what was it like to be able to pick something off of just one song off of each album?
We decided together, each band member listened to the older songs, and we came up with when we recorded something from Masquerade in Blood, for example, we listened to the album, okay, we played Masquerade in Blood, we had it a set list years before, and we listened to the whole album, and we came up to Gathering of Minds, for example, and we said, oh yeah, that is it. That is the song we have to do, we decided together, and then we start rehearsing the song, with the original tuning, which was tuned on C. It's very deep, and we try to get the same aggression like on the original one, That was, it's not easy because we have so many songs on each album we never play live or we completely underrated, But that was a kind of democratic decision, Everybody could decide this song is good and this song is not so good, Or when you come to Tapping the Vein, we said, okay, Body Parts is the heaviest song on the album, and Sodom wanna be a heavy, and the complete Tapping the Vein album is so heavy, So we decided Body Parts,
Yeah, that totally makes a lot of sense, and I'm glad to see it was done that way too. I mean, yeah, there's so many choices that could have been done, but when everyone can be on board and you want to be able to decide the right song for the right album to be able to showcase in a new lights, I mean, like all of the songs that are showcased here, like I think they're perfect choices off of every album. I mean, when you're able to show off something like this and you're able to give some songs that, some fans might have forgotten about and give them new life here, I really appreciate that.
Yeah, but we try to keep the spirit of the 80s, It's not easy to do, but we tried, We try to keep the magic in the original song, So I don't change my vocals, when I sing all the songs, So I think the fans will appreciate it, I don't think there are fans, but why don't you cover this song or this song, If you have hundreds of songs, what can you do, when you do just a sample, But I think the most important part in this, if you're gonna buy the box set, there is also a book inside, where we're gonna present all the original album artworks, It's a difference between the original artwork and when it's coming up on an album. It's an album artwork, We also have a lot of fan statements, That was very important to me. What think the fans about 40 years Sodom? What are your experiences? What are your remembrances when you listen to Sodom, whatever, And that was very cool, We get hundreds of fan statements. We couldn't print them in a book because we have a limited pages, So we wanted to put them on a homepage on Facebook or on the Sodom homepage, complete, That was really a good idea, It's not my, I don't want to. I write an intro in the book, and I don't want to write my biography into the book like this. I think the fans, without the fans, Sodom wouldn't be here. And we want to give the tribute also to the fans.
Oh, for sure. And I love the fact that you put that much thought and detail in with it as well. And going along with that as well too. I mean, like the artwork for this release just feels like pure, authentic Sodom as well. Like when I think of being able to do the kind of re-recordings that you're doing for this release and just being able to showcase Sodom as a whole, the artwork coming out for this is just spectacular, and it just strikes you so hard. It feels like authentic, classic Sodom.
I got it here. I got one of the first copies here in Germany.
Oh,
it's
cool.
it's Eliran Kantor, and I always been in contact with him. He always want to do some Sodom covers. He did the cover for War and Pieces, 2006 or whatever. And but the last two studio albums were painted by Joe Petagno, which is a good friend of mine. But I got in contact and to Eliran. I said we need a cover for the 40 years cover box set, And he said, okay, I have an idea, And we just never talk about it, And later comes this, And he want to put the X-Men from In the Sound of Evil at what she called Knarrenheinz in Germany, putting on one cover, these two iconic figures here on the Sodom history. I think it's a good product, It's good cover, good music. What else you need more?
Absolutely. So, checking that out as well, like, have you had the chance to be able to spin that yet on vinyl?
Sorry?
Now that you got the vinyl release, have you had the chance to be able to listen to the final product?
Yes, I think it's going to be released in USA too. I think. I don't know when it's coming out here. End of October, I think. On the 28th October, it's released here. But I think the box set will come later. I think they started with the CD version and the double album. Yes, you could. It's also at Spotify, whatever. I'm not a big Spotify fan. I need a product. I need this vinyl. I have my record player here. And I think it's gonna be released worldwide.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I love the fact that the physical product means so much as well too, because I mean, when it comes to a band like this, you want to be able to appreciate it in that physical form and be able to have that high fidelity that you can get from the physical. And the fact that you were able to check it out on vinyl and it does have that great sound behind it. For me, I just have the MP3 forms to be able to check it out, but I just imagine that vinyl version that you hold in your hands just has that great sound behind it.
Yeah. I think vinyl is getting more famous worldwide, And I think CD is not so important, but they just press some CDs, I don't know how much they're gonna press from this vinyl. I think 4,000, 5,000. I don't know really. I never get the original rates what they're gonna sell, And I remember we signed for the box. We signed 3,500 postcards by hand, I think Sodom is the only, maybe the last band who signed all the cards by hand, I think the most signs get printed and put it to the box, we want to give something back, we have so many fans, and they're gonna pay the price. They're gonna buy the tickets for the shows. They're gonna buy merchandise and the album. We want to give something back,
And yeah, I mean, obviously, I can imagine some hand pain that comes from after signing all of those. But it's just like when the fans are able to buy it, when they're able to hold it in their hands, and they're able to realize that you actually put that time and effort into signing everything, it's just going to make it that more special.
Yeah. We always do when we have a live show. We always do a signing session or a meet and greet. I know you have to know we are the rock stars. I know a couple of other so-called heavy metal bands, rock stars. They're gonna play the show 1 hour and go home. We always gonna stay. We want to give something back. We do a signing session after the show, before the show. We do meet and greet. Talk with the fans. That is something which a lot of bands forget. Where we come from. They're gonna pay the price. We want to give something back. And we are so glad to have so many fans who keep us alive.
Yeah, and I'm definitely one of them, and it's so great to hear that authenticity in your voice when you are talking about the band and how appreciative you are of the fan base that you have, and just knowing the fact that obviously the last several years that we've had, that you still want to be able to go out and play those shows. You want to be able to have those meet and greets. You want to know that the fan base and the audience is still there. And when you show that appreciation, the fan base is going to show that appreciation back.
Yes, that's very important, And so, that's the reason why I like more playing smaller clubs, where you get more contact to the fans, And we played 2 weeks ago, played a Mexico Metal Fest, which was great. You know, I played Creator, Destruction, the Big Four, and also Gravedigger, Hellhammer. You know, we did a signing session there too. You know, but there were about 50,000 people. You know, you cannot sign every stuff. You know, but we tried. You know, and that is very important. You know, so. But I like playing more in the smaller clubs, you know, and after the show we're gonna stay there for a while, you know. That is very important.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you. I mean, what was that like? I mean, obviously during the summer and doing the festival circuits, what was that like to be able to get back on stage?
That was great, you know. We had a break about 2 years, you know, during the Corona stuff, you know. And they offered me a couple of shows, you know. We're gonna play a show without audience, you know, and just which you can see on YouTube on the internet, you know. That's not what I want, you know. I think the most part of a show is not the band; it's everything together. It's the audience and the band, you know. And coming back, that was so great, you know. You know, it's not just, you know, we make our live from the music. We get our money from live shows, you know. And that was really hard times, 2 years, you know. But I'm so glad to be back, and we have so many plans for next year. You know, we have a couple of shows in this month, and December we have a small tour in Germany. You know, it's good. You know, it's that's what I'm living for. That's what I want. You know.
Oh, that just makes me so happy to hear that too. I mean, when I got the chance to be able to see the songs that you were playing live after a couple year break from being able to play live, and you know, I gotta imagine even for you, like even playing a song like Agent Orange, like when it's taken away from you, you have a new appreciation for it when you're able to play it live again.
Yeah, that's the reason why we're gonna do the music. You know, and I'm so glad that we are able to do a couple of shows. You know, I'm get 60 years on next year. You know. Um, But I never mind, I'm still creative, I'm still healthy, I have so many plans for the band for the next years, you know, I'm gonna do, you know. But playing live, it's that what I really want, you know. And we plan a lot of festivals next year. We also plan coming back to US, you know, which people are waiting for. I talked to so many people on the Mexico Metal Fest, you know, why you never come to US, you know? Do you hate America? What happened, you know? We don't hate. I love America. I love US America. So many friends in US America, you know. I want to go, you know. But the
Oh, for
problem
sure.
is, you know, we need the papers, you know, we need the working sheets, you know. We have to go to the embassy, get the sheets, and you know, we cannot go as tourists, you know. A lot of promoters, leave your guitar at home and just go as tourists, so we can spare the money for the visa and all the stuff, you know. That's not the way I'm gonna do this, you know. So I hope we get a chance for next year touring in America. You know? A good friend of mine, he tried to get us on a Las Vegas Metal Fest or Las Vegas Psycho. I don't know the name of the festival. You know,
Oh,
that's
Psycho Las Vegas.
it's Psycho Las Vegas. Yeah, yeah. Which would be to restart our US activities. You know, I don't. We will see what happens. We want to go. You know, I know that Destruction created touring all the time. You know, US America. People were waiting for Sodom, definitely.
Yeah, and I'm definitely one of them, but I know it's going to be worth the wait when it does happen, and you want it to be under the right circumstances as well too.
Yes.
Like, I remember distinctly the last time we were able to talk. Like I mentioned, I was so bummed that the Maryland Death Fest situation when you were last going to be a part of that. That's where you mentioned that they wanted you to get your visas under being a tour all that either because you know it's like you want to do everything professionally, you want everything
Yes. Yes.
to be going the right direction,
Yep.
and
Yep.
you
Yep.
don't want it to be a reason why you're not able to come back to the States. You want
Yeah,
to be
you
able to do everything authentically.
Yes, when we come to the border, you know, they say, "Oh, you're Tom from Sodom. What are you gonna do here?" You know, we always have some so-called interviews, you know, when we coming to the border. You know, what you gonna do here? And I want to play my own guitar when I go on tour. You know, so I can, if there is any promoters out there, you know, we gonna. I think definitely the shows will be sold out. You know, definitely. You know, we played New York, we played Las Vegas, we played a couple of shows. But it's years ago, you know. So now the time is right, you know. I think all the American bands are touring in Germany and Europe, you know what I mean? And they got no problems here. They got everything, you know. They got backline, they get the equipment they need, they get the food, you know, the drinks, whatever. They got a good hotels, you know. So if there was a promoter out there, we're gonna pay the price, we go. You know. You disappeared.
You did as well. As soon as I started talking, I saw everything just went frozen. So I apologize for that.
Yes. So I think we are in contact to a lot of promoters who are gonna help us over next year. You know. We played Sodom band. We played worldwide. You know. We played South America all the time. We played couple of years. We played Russia all the every year. You know. We played everywhere, you know. So my bags are packed here, you know. I can go.
Oh, awesome. That makes me so happy to hear that as well too. And again, you know, just like having that the live shows, I mean, they mean so much, obviously financially, and also just to be able to play those songs and the interaction with the fan base and everything else that you got lined up for the future as well too. That's got me very excited as well too, because you know, it's just like when I hear these awesome songs that showcase the whole career of Sodom so far, I'm excited to see that next chapter of Sodom, like what the new material is going to be after this release. That's just got me so excited.
Oh my God, we have written 4 songs for the next album, you know. But I can tell you, this song's really kick ass. You know, this, in my opinion, this will be the heaviest Sodom album we ever release. You know, and that's what my dream is, going to the more professional studio. You know, on the Genesis 19, we recorded in a rehearsal room on a computer, and we're gonna mix it on an analog desk. You know, on a board. You know, and my dream is for the next album, taking the band, going to Berlin, whatever, and being in the studio for 3 or 4 weeks, recording an album, you know, in a professional studio with a mixing desk, you know, to get more, to get a better sound, you know. We want to have a more old school sound, but more bigger, you know. We need bigger drum kits, you know. Sometimes I don't like the modern productions, you know, where the drums are sounding like plastic, you know. We want to have a big drum sound, a big fat bass sound, you know. And we are really hard working on the next songs on the next album, you know. But you know, we need an option from a record company if they want to bring it out next year or 2024, whatever, you know. That is a business, you know. But we are always writing songs. We have always ideas, you know. We always start a jam session. You know, we always write the songs in the rehearsal room, you know. We never gonna arrange songs by sending MP3 files, you know, because the drummer is living in America, the guitarist is living in England, whatever. We live in one area and we meet 2 or 3 times a week in a rehearsal room, starting a jam session, drinking beer and writing a song, you know. That's a big difference to all the other bands, you know.
No, it's so true. I mean, obviously, there's some nice things about being able to be so spaced out across the world and being able to work with each other, but there's no better feeling, at least when I've ever been in a band, and I can imagine for yourself as well too, when you're all in the same room, you're able to dial in all the sounds that you're looking for, whether it's the right drum sounds, the cymbals, the bass tones, guitar tones, the vocal mics, the preamps, all of that stuff is so important to be able to get that real authentic sound. And when you're able to dial that in, and then you're able to hopefully what will be what you're hoping for, like the heaviest Sodom album to date, hearing all of that, just as a longtime fan, just got me super excited about that, because everything that you're describing is what I was hoping for.
Yeah, and I want to tell you what, we want to get Harris Jones back on as a producer, you know. Harris Jones, a good friend of mine, you know, and Harris was like a 4th band member in the beginning, you know. And I talked to Harris a couple of weeks ago. He's been on a Rock Art Festival in Germany, you know. And I asked him for what do you think to produce the next Sodom album again in a bigger studio, you know, to get a real organic analog sound, you know. And he was so amused about it. He was so excited about to do it, you know. That's my dream, you know. I will see what happened, you know. I have to pay the price, you know. It's expensive booking a professional studio or paying a producer or engineer or whatever, you know. But I will pay the price, you know. I want to have the biggest Sodom production ever. I want to have the heaviest the best Sodom album ever, with the best cover I can get, with the best producer money can buy, and that's Harris Jones.
Oh, for sure. And just like you briefly touched on, I mean, as much musically as I'm excited about the new Sodom material when that does come to fruition, you do
Yeah,
mention the album artwork. Like, I can't wait for that as well too. I mean, if you're going to be releasing the heaviest Sodom album to date, I just imagine that artwork to be equally matched in that
yeah,
point.
yeah. And the thing is, we have two guitarists. I think Frank Blackfire is completely different to York, which is a younger guitarist in the band, and they have completely different ways to write songs, and Frank came up with some really, really heavy guitarists. Frank never changed his guitar sound, that he always wrote songs could be on Agent Orange, and Frank is more in modern, more in punk, crust punk, or metalcore, whatever, I don't want to talk about any genres, I think, and I never mind. We can do black metal, we can do death metal, influence, whatever, We just want to write a good song, It doesn't matter what kind of music it is, Some people told me, on Genesis there was some black metal stuff in it, with blast beats, and now they start gonna do black metal, I said, hello, we were the first bands who do this kind of music, We just copy ourselves, We have no influence from outside, from other bands. I never mind what other bands do, I want to do the best Sodom album. I want to have brilliant songs on this album, with a better production,
Oh, for sure. And, to me, that kind of just brings everything back to this release that we've been able to talk about, because you're able to show off all of those different styles that other people have been influenced by you. But the fact
Yeah,
that you just want to make uh, music for Sodom to sound like Sodom, whether it gets heavier, whether it gets thrashier, whether
yeah,
it's rawer or the clean production, whatever the case is. And
yeah,
just like the more that I listen to it, it's just like you really can hear all of that, and it's shown off so much stronger as well too, with the production value that you're having here with this album. And you can have older songs from sounding something like what I feel like is a great battle cry for the band in SODOM, where it's just like
yeah,
I feel like it's just like, if there was like any, I'm so glad that you decided to re-record that one, because that song has always stood out to me as one of my favorite Sodom songs. And just being
yeah,
able to hear that through the new filter that's going on just shows how heavy the band still continues to be, how fast you can be,
yeah,
and everything that you've been talking about with the new album. It's just like you can hear it from albums that are close to a decade ago. You can hear it from albums that come up to 40 years ago. It's like you never lost that edge. It's just you're able to show different sides of yourself, and I
yeah,
love that.
yeah. That's because we get no dictation from outside. There is no. I think some people say, "Oh, creator, they get more commercial. They're gonna sold out." Whatever. Um, when we talked about a big four, Sodom is the heaviest, definitely. You know, we get no dictation, or there is no record company or publisher who gonna tell us doing this or doing that. I always talk to my record company. You're gonna bring it out. You do the promotion, all the stuff, and you get the master. Here's the master. Bring it out or not, But we don't want to leave our fans disappointed. It doesn't matter if you get more commercial. You're gonna sell a couple of more copies. I never mind. Um, you know, we are just metal fans making music for a while, and I know exactly what the fans need. And the heavier a Sodom album is, the better is the selling, in my opinion. And so, yes, you are right, and we never change. We have a lot of lineup changes during all the decades. But we keep, as long as I'm a singer in a band and a bass player, nothing will change. We always try to do as heavy as possible, and for me, it's very important to write good songs, good chorus lines. When you listen to a Sodom song once or twice, you will never forget it. That is very important. That is also the big difference to all the other so-called metal bands. Um, yes, and we have so much energy, we have so much ideas for the next album, for the next activities. And so I will never stop doing this.
Oh, and again, that just makes me so happy to hear that. And sadly, I know it's a busy press day going on, and I think that's a perfect note to be able to end on. Just keeping that authenticity of Sodom alive over 40 years and all of the years that are to come, and just being able to hear about re-recording these songs for the 40 Years at War coming out next week. I'm
Yeah,
so excited for everyone else to be able to check out all the songs as I've been able to do it. And of course, all the upcoming touring that'll be announced, I'm sure. And then whenever the next album finally starts to get recorded and
yeah.
available in my ears, I can't wait to be able to talk about with you again, because I'm just so excited for everything that's going on with Sodom here in 2022 and beyond. And I thank you so
Yeah.
very much for taking the time to be able to talk to me about all of it.
Yes, thank you, and hope to see you in US America next year.
Oh, I'm so excited for those tour dates
If
to
there's
start
any
coming out.
if there's any promoter gonna see or read the interview, whatever, please contact our booking agency, and we're gonna do it. No problem. Yeah, thank you so much for your time, also, and see you soon. Thank you.